2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. We're glad to have you with us on 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the San Antonio Spurs up against the Celtics in Boston. Taking a look at the Celtics, after splitting their first two games of the season, tonight's game gives them a chance to get their record over the 500 mark and maybe get a little momentum on their side. One of the fun players to watch tonight, Isaiah Thomas. He was the last player selected from his draft class of 2011. But, Shaq, I bet GMs want a redo on that one, man. He can just dominate games offensively.
You know, he's not really tall. He's 6-something, not above 6'4", but this guy's fearless. You know, his speed and quickness of the release of the shot, he can get a shot anytime. And what I really like about him, he's gritty. He'll fight you.
If he's more than 5'11", I'd be surprised. But when he gets in the zone, he's one of the most difficult players to handle. He could take over a game, Ernie.
You ain't really trying to get rich?
Hello, basketball fans. You've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. This is Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. Doris Burke will be reporting from the sidelines. We have an interconference showdown here in Boston where the Celtics will square off. They're getting their first look of the season at San Antonio in this one. They took the loss in this East versus West matchup during the regular season last year, dropping both games.
Yeah, a quick two-game series between the two teams, one in each club's home building.
Well, looky here. We've got an interconference matchup. Always interesting to see how two teams match up that don't get a chance to see a whole lot of one another.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the floor for San Antonio, Parker and Green are the guard pairing. Pau Gasol is out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Leonard in at the three slot. Offensive rebound. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup. And while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not. But sure enough, they have. So he'll head to the free throw line.
And listen, San Antonio is an older team, actually the oldest in the league last season. And because of injuries and days off, they didn't get to feel that preferred starting five a lot last year. Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
Hayward kicks to Baines. Out left to the wing. Near the three-point line, it's Thomas. The wing jumper off target. Spurs only used their preferred lineup less than half the season, but still a strong campaign. 22 games played with the starting lineup of Parker, Green, Leonard, Duncan, and Splitter.
And, you know, the Spurs will go on to use 23 different starting lineups, Kevin. That would be the fifth most in the NBA.
Here's Thomas. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Green. Lets it go from deep, and it's good on the assist.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey there, and thank you for joining us on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. This NBA season
At the small forward.
2K Sports checks in with their loyal viewers with the broadcast from Boston, the home of the Celtics. Looking at Boston, they took the win in their last game against Toronto.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when a team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. On the court for San Antonio. Defensive-minded Green and Leonard are the wings. Aldridge out there with Pau Gasol. And it's Parker in at point guard. Now here's Parker. The drive by Aldridge. And stolen by Hayward. Here's Thomas. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
No good on the second free throw.
And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
And here is Brown, following the 3 moments ago from LaMarcus Aldridge. Hayward can hit. All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Kevin, Greg Popovich and I got a chance to talk for a bit. He talked about the impact that Al Horford can have on a game and how they'll have their work cut out for them dealing with him. He said Horford's just a complete ball player. He does all the things you want from a big man. He can shoot, handle, and pass. He's always a tough matchup, but it starts with matching his energy level. Kevin, we'll see if they have what it takes.
Thank you, Doris. Now here's Thomas, following the miss by LaMarcus Aldridge. Hayward against Parker. Now here's Hayward. Defense is right there. Horford the pass to Thomas. Rocket 2. Baseline jumper. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. For San Antonio, they've gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Parker outside. He kicks it to Green. Gasol a screen. 6 on the shot clock. Shot from 12. Aldridge can't get that one to fall.
The shots aren't dropping yet. They've missed 4 of their first 5 shots.
Hayward kicks to Horford. There's the feed to Thomas. Leonard with the steal. And oh, here we go with Leonard. Nobody back. And it's good on the assist by Parker.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
Last season, Clark, the Spurs kept on winning as usual. They passed the Lakers in terms of the best winning percentage all time for a franchise.
Well, some of that has to do with the struggles the Lakers had last season, but more of it is credit to the Spurs. Consistency and high-quality play has been who they are and have been for 2 decades.
How about the concentration? He gets hit but stays with the play and gets the finish.
Innovation and improvisation right there, Greg. Finding a way to get that shot to fall after taking the contact.
Now here's Thomas. In the corner, it's Hayward. Off target from outside.
And with the Spurs and their winning percentage, it's right above 60. Not bad for a team that joined the NBA back in 1977.
Horford against Leonard. Hayward from outside. Great D that time from Leonard. Spurs leading by 5. Parker dishes to Green. Sinks the three-pointer.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Ernie Johnson joined by Shaquille O'Neal. Kenny the Jet Smith, thanks for tuning in.
On the floor for the visiting Boston Celtics. At small forward, Jaylen Brown. At the other forward position, Jay Crowder. At center, Al Horford. At the other forward position, Gordon Hayward. At the other forward.
Live from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 2K Sports proudly brings you the Thunder at the peak at the Chesapeake Energy Arena. Looking at Boston, they want to turn it around after the loss to the Hawks.
How about the shooting percentage, though? In the low 30s. That tells you all you need to know.
Brutal, absolutely brutal. Shoot that poorly. You almost have to try to miss. Shoot that poorly. Rarely do you see numbers like that at the NBA level.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. On the court right now for the Celtics. They've got Horford. Thomas is out there with Brown. And it's Hayward. And it's Crowder in at the 4 spot. And it's Brown missing. And it's the Thunder with the ball. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
And then in that game, guys, I mean, the beneficiary of what was some very lackluster defense being played against them.
Agreed, guys. It was really quite shocking and disappointing how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
Clock at 6. And Westbrook, here we go. That's tipped. They get it back, and it's good. Adams has got the first points up on the board here for the Thunder. Brown outside. The pass to Crowder. And a foul on the shot. They'll go to the strike.
For my man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection.
And guys, talking about Paul George, the continued improvement of his ball handling is key to generating more offense. That was a weakness of his coming out of college. He's worked on it, but making it a strength the way LeBron has would go a long way toward getting him to that next level. Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Brown dishes to Thomas. Back to Brown. Shoots a 3. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Not good shot selection. Long range and the defender all up in your jersey.
And, you know, that's just the kind of defensive work he's known for. I mean, he can take that shot away from you and does it more times than not.
Now, here's Brown. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Brown, the pass to Horford. Out to Hayward. He's now 1 for 2 with that bucket.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
About 3 minutes gone here in the first quarter. They set the screen. Back to Westbrook. The 15-footer. That falls. Nice speed that time from George. Westbrook's got his first bucket of the night.
And guys, we've seen teams hire college coaches with no NBA experience before. It hasn't always worked out, but for Boston, they have to be very pleased with Brad Stevens.
Now here's Brown. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
I'll tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. A different look for Oklahoma City. Enes Kanter's checked in for Adams. Doug McDermott comes in for Patrick Patterson. And it's Felton in for Roberson. Thunder have gone just 2 of 7 so far. A little bit of a slow start for them. They set the pick. There's a screen by Kanter. George against Hayward. Here's Kanter. And he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
And guys, I think each team knows they can win this game. Just a matter who can catch that momentum.
Now, here is George. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Philadelphia. Softly drops in the floater. 1:35 left here in the first quarter. Felton against Brown. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
Last season, the Celtics had a solid 19-22 road record, Clark. Not the 500 mark most teams want, but a very good effort from a young team, and no one really expected that.
Yeah, and you think about this team that's still growing and has a lot of youth. I mean, that kind of road record is very impressive. Their fans should be feeling pretty good about what the future holds with this group.
And how about the burst in that first step, just right to the rim?
Here's Hayward. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. It's going to be on Doug McDermott.
And thinking back on the Celtics, on the road, their away record doesn't tell the whole story. They won their last 7 road games in that tremendous playoff push.
Celtics making a switch here. Smart's checked in. Westbrook with it. Now Thomas defending. Good. And that's now 6 points for Russell Westbrook.
Some defensive breakdown. Starting to show up now. Their last 4 buckets allowed have come from very close range.
Yeah, high percentage shots are what they are getting in terms of the attempts, and that's just not going to get it done. They have got to figure it out. And really, he epitomizes what a point guard should be. I mean, his skills as a passer might actually be matched by that creativity he shows around the rim.
Well, judging by that jam, Greg, I'd say you're absolutely right.
Boy, that's a nice surge for them just when they needed it in a game that was so tight. Another away-from-home note for the Celtics. They were 7-1 in road games against the rest of their division. Their road play was the driving factor as to why they made the playoffs.
Here's Kanter. Isaiah Thomas making his last shot. The drive by Kanter. That one's no good. That makes him 1 for 2. Thomas against Westbrook. Thomas kicks to Smart. And stolen by Felton. And now it's Westbrook running. He can go all the way.
No, he didn't. Did he just break out the finger roll? That's nice.
Outside Thomas. In the corner, it's Hayward. Gets it off, and that's not going to go.
OKC, make some noise for yours.
And power forward Patrick Patterson. Getting better every season. He said that...
I think my 3 years I can touch.
Patterson Clark, exactly the guy he says he is, and that's why he's one of those glue guys you've got to have on your team.
Yep, Velcro utility, I call him, the kind of guy who his teammates just love. I mean, they know he's always going to have their back, and he's always going to work hard. He's going to do what he's supposed to do and be where he's supposed to be and do it when he's supposed to do it.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Thunder.
A lot of success from mid-range so far for them, guys. If nothing else works, they can always fall back on the jump shot.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well, and getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
Felton is out there with Roberson. Then it's Paul George, and then there's Steven Adams, and it's Patterson in at the four-man position. That's the group for Oklahoma City getting going here in the second. Round the pass to Rozier. No luck. Felton with some nice D. And for Raymond Felton last year was nothing short of a disaster. Missed the first 31 games with an ankle injury sustained in preseason. And he played for a poor team. And things, you know, Greg, being the leader, the ball handler like you were, they just never got much better for Felton as the season went on.
Yeah, the problem when you have that issue early on, the season isn't going to wait for you. Right. You know, you're basically in catch-up mode, and so because of that, he never got into any kind of a rhythm when he was available to play. And that's not surprising, given that he averaged less than 10 minutes a game for the season after averaging 33 a game for his entire career.
We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now.
Timeout for Oklahoma City.
Timeout is called, first of the game for the Thunder.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, I like this timeout, Greg. I think it's a good one because it looks like they need a minute to talk things through here.
And a new group in for the Celtics. Al Horford's checked in for Morris. T comes in for the Kid. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Brown. And Smart subbed in for Rozier. And we're now about a minute and a half into the second quarter. Pass to Adams. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Kiwi Steven Adams, one of the toughest players down on the block.
And Kevin Adams is not afraid to get under somebody's skin. He's pretty strong defensively, too.
And you know, guys, that's one of the things I like about Adams. I mean, he'll draw the ire of opposing players just because of how he approaches the game.
They throw good, Adams.
Yeah, and guys, Adams doesn't want to be known as a dirty player. I mean, I think he feels he plays aggressive and he hustles, and that sometimes rubs players the wrong way.
That's also good, so he hits both free throws.
Well, as far as the league's big men go, he's one of the very best at the foul line.
And now, the first timeout called here for Boston. They're getting their first look at the Thunder in this one.
And it wasn't a matchup they fared well in last year, as they just couldn't figure this team out.
0-2 for them in this matchup last year, Greg. Both teams fighting every second of the way, trying to push into the playoffs in their respective conferences.
Well, you look back on the Thunder last season, and the theme was injuries. Too many injuries to the bulk of their core.
And, you know, the big three, Durant, Westbrook, and Ibaka, all missed significant time. Only Westbrook of those three was able to finish the season.
Here's Smart.
And listen, those injuries really did the Thunder in. I mean, at no time during the season did they ever really get a chance to gel and play any stretch of games with their entire roster.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
And George, here we go. And that one's good. George has got the lead up to 4 now for the Thunder.
You know, every franchise will have a year that is just lost to injuries. I mean, it happens. The hard part of it for the Thunder is that it happened while so many of their stars are in their prime. I'm not sure that was the play they had set up, but it was too good a look to pass up.
And Roberson kicks to George. Right side, Felton. All alone. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got 3 assists now in this one.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Horford dishes to Baines. Back to Horford. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Well, he's an undersized center, but he more than makes up for it with some serious leaping ability.
For Oklahoma City, they've gone 3 of 4 from the floor here in the second quarter. And here's George for 3. Count that as his 4th basket of the night. Just 7 shots to get there.
He's got it going here in the second, gaining momentum as this game continues to go.
Here's T. Excellent D there from George. The Thunder leading by 4.
And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball. High-quality shot, just a little off there with the release.
And, Greg, that has him S-H-H-E, shaking his head. Tough miss that time.
And Hayward with the block. Horford the pass to Smart. It's tipped. That'll be Boston as it goes out of bounds. Celtics retain possession. Now here are the 2. 2K leaderboard with last season's top rebounding teams. Number 1, the Thunder.
Boy, last season they were phenomenal on the glass. I mean, everybody took pride in rebounding the basketball on both ends of the floor. Not just defensively, they got to that offensive glass as well. A terrific offensive rebounding team.
Poked away. Paul George with the steal. And pushing it up here. Here is Oklahoma City. Here's Roberson. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. And a new group in here for the Thunder. Cantor checked in for Adams. Allison comes in for Patrick Patterson. McDermott's checked in for George. And Russell Westbrook is subbed in for Raymond Felton. The Celtics also changing it up. Crowder, he's checked in for Aaron Baines. Brown comes in for T. And it's Isaiah Thomas in for Smart. Hayward kicks to Horford. Lock at 6. And too long on the shot. Oklahoma City leading by 7. Roberson dishes to Westbrook. 1:21 left to play here in the second quarter. He muscles it in through the contact, and they call the foul. He's on his way to the free throw line.
That's exactly what you want to see. I mean, they're doing a good job of scoring in the paint. Points in the paint. PIPs. That's what's going on here in the second.
Yeah, and a big year for Enes Kanter last season. I mean, traded from the Jazz to the Thunder and finally saw the minutes that he was hoping for.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed ball.
And Kanter did play well with the increased minutes last season, Clark. Averaged a double-double after the trade.
I think it was a great fit for him in Oklahoma City. He still has work to do, but now that he feels like he's in the right environment, I think we're going to see that great potential of his start to come to fruition.
Feeds to Thomas. Brown with a screen on Collison. Here's Crowder. To the inside. Here's Brown. It's hauled in by Collison.
And he thought he had a clear path to the hoop, but the defense didn't give up on that play and cut him off.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Oklahoma City moving it around. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. And the Thunder lead by 13.
I think they need to get much more disruptive defensively. They can't just keep allowing these easy baskets.
That's got to be job number one right now. Nothing easy on the inside.
Thomas down low. And that concludes.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what an amazing performance the hometown fans are witnessing here tonight. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal. It was all Russell Westbrook in the first quarter. He had 10 points and 2 rebounds. Shaq, your thoughts on the Thunder?
Well, in terms of running a smooth, efficient offense, they've been as good as it gets. The looks they've created have been high percentage. The ball is moving, guys are rotating. That's what got them those good looks, Ernie. And this is the reason they got that nice lead.
Kenny, how'd you think the Celtics were playing?
Well, they're facing a very hot team in the first half. I mean, guys are shooting the ball lights out. But you have to do more to get stops. I mean, tough defense is the key. And if you put pressure on the ball and more bodying up down low, that's going to establish more aggressive tone that might shut them down in the second half.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is just about to get started. Now back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew.
And we welcome you back to more NBA action. Players looking hydrated and plenty of Gatorade to help them get their job done tonight. Russell Westbrook really making a difference here.
It's as if he can get to the rim any time he wants. And in that first half, he wanted to quite a bit.
And that's where his points were coming from. I mean, the defense has to do a much better job of challenging him at the rim.
Second half underway. Here's who Brad Stevens got on the floor. Hayward out there with Jay Crowder. Then it's Thomas. Then there's Brown. And it's Horford in at the 5 down low. The Thunder leading by 11. Westbrook with it. Easy layup after coming off the pick. Westbrook's got 12.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here. Up high and down hard with the one-hander.
Got a little extra forceful with that one, didn't he? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think that's going to rouse up his teammates, no doubt.
Roberson the pass to Adams. Got a piece of it. And stolen by Thomas. Brown outside. No good there, and that would have cut it to single digits.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's cost him.
And Patterson kicks to Roberson. To the wing on the left. Westbrook wide open. He fires. Again, the Thunder score.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feel.
It's tipped. Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. On the wing, George. The 9-foot shot, and it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
Now here's Crowder, defended by George. Horford attacking. The dish to Crowder. Just 5 on the clock. The Celtics need to get a shot off. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
That's 1 for their first 4 to start the second half.
And watching Jay Crowder, he can really beast you up, Greg, and take you out of your game. One of the most physical wings, I think, in the NBA.
And not the most flexible athlete, but he makes up for that with that strength that you mentioned. It allows him to control the pace. I mean, he's a bumper and a grinder and hitting a big three out of nowhere. So he's what we call a true gamer.
To the middle, here's Roberson. That's good, and so Westbrook comes up with the assist. Roberson's got 5.
That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Brown dishes to Hayward. Great pass to set up the lay-in.
That's really told the story today, guys. I mean, throughout this game, they've been able to get the ball in tight and then finish.
More active and more physical down low. That's what's really been the difference thus far. How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
And it's Crowder, top of the key. It's stolen by Adams. And Roberson kicks to Adams. And George, here we go. Count the bucket. George has got 14.
It's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
It's a stark discrepancy when you look at the assist columns and you see that difference as far as the fluidity in their respective offenses.
Here's Thomas, and it's Boston with another.
Assist goes to.
And so here is Oklahoma City. Outside Westbrook. Dishes to Adams. Looking for George. He gets it there. Shot clock at 5. Back to Adams. Passes it to Roberson. Oklahoma City needs to get off a shot. Not that time. It's off now, shooting 7 of 10 from the floor. Now here's Crowder. Defense is right there. The runner. It's blocked. Here's Roberson. He's got 5. Patterson, the screen. Roberson, the pass to Patterson. Can't hit. Good work defensively by Horford. Celtics trail by 16. Hayward goes in. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. They get Russell Westbrook.
There are those who wonder if Gordon Hayward can lead a team to the promised land. However, as just a sophomore, he led a non-powerhouse college to a championship game. So, in fact, they were just one basket away from winning it all.
Catching up on the changes for Oklahoma City. Cantor checked in for Steven Adams. Collison comes in for Patrick Patterson. Doug McDermott, he's checked in for George. And it's Felton in for Roberson. Baines dishes to Crowder. Takes it off the glass.
Jay Crowder.
Going back to Hayward, he took that buzzer-beating half-court shot, Clark, that would have won his school the championship. You actually called that game, and it did hit the backboard and rim, but unfortunately did not go in.
Well, Hayward's the kind of guy who's willing to put his team on his back and try to carry him. He's willing to take that responsibility on. Whether he can deliver at the highest level, time will tell.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Thomas kicks to Crowder. Up and in on the layup. Crowder's got 4 this quarter.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Textbook. Really, when you look at how they're playing, they are having their way down low.
Thomas against Westbrook. He dishes it to Collison. Cantor kicks to McDermott. No good on the 3. And as we end. And we're getting underway here in the 4th quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. The Thunder leading by 12. Nick Collison out there with Enes Kanter. Then there's Felton. Then there's Russell Westbrook. And it's McDermott in at the small forward spot. That's the lineup out there for the Thunder. Hayward passes to Brown. Thomas gets a wide open look. The shot's good. Brown making the play. Thomas got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Celtics. The Thunder shooting the ball really well in this game, 58%. It's Westbrook with the drive, and he gets the bucket.
How about the way he's able to angle his body to shield the big fella off and still get the finish?
You've got to be clever with your sleight of hand when you get inside and try to finish against the bigger guys. And he made it look easy that time.
Thomas against Westbrook. Thomas down low, and he banks in the layup.
Not fazed at all by having a bigger defender on him down low, and I really thought he would be.
You know, at first glance, you wouldn't think that he'd be comfortable in that particular situation, but, well, I tell you what, he didn't look like he was out of his element at all right there.
The screen from Brown. Thomas against Felton. Here's Horford. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over.
Boy, this game has really started to heat up. I didn't think it could get any more high scoring than it already was.
Well, I tell you what, I don't mind it. You don't either, it sounds like. Good offense is entertaining, and that's exactly what we're getting.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
And for long stretches of the season, the Thunder, they had a short bench early on due to injury and just having a short rotation. They did change things up, though, as they went through that regular season.
Let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Billy Donovan's huddle. He gave his guys the green light to keep firing from downtown, telling them, listen, I like the work you're doing out there. Keep finding those gaps on the perimeter. They're giving us open shots.
Looking at who's out there now for the Thunder. Adams, he's checked in for Enes Kanter. Patterson comes in for Nick Collison. George is checked in for McDermott. And it's Andre Robertson in for Raymond Felton. Well, for the Thunder, Greg, you're talking about, they did have to go to their bench more and more. And Clark, as the season wore on, their bench players are playing a lot of minutes.
Yeah, actually, they ended up in the top 10 in bench minutes played. The trades they made at the deadline helped bring depth to the team, and they took advantage of it.
Here's Rozier. He's covered by Westbrook. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. They get Russell Westbrook.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Yeah, you know what? And I think they've just got to keep on keeping on. Keep drawing contact, attacking, getting to the line. That will certainly give them a chance to get back into the game. Steady work at the free throw line. Just what we're used to seeing out of him.
Just a little under 2.5 minutes have passed now here in the fourth.
Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Here's the kid. Adams defending. The kid. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
Yeah, he earned that one. I mean, he's taking the hit and still able to get that one to go down.
Incredible body control right there. Don't know how he was able to get that one to go, but it sure was a thing of beauty to watch.
Patterson, the screen. Westbrook kicks to Adams. Unloads from 13. And Baines pulls it down. Celtics trail by 6. And just about 3 minutes through the fourth quarter here. Kicks to Smart. He feeds it to Baines. Just 5 on the clock. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Thunder.
Fantastic passing. We saw it in the first half, and it's carried over here in the second.
They've consistently drilled the mid-range jumper tonight as well, which has forced the D to come out on them.
Crowder, he's checked in for Boston. There's the pick. Right side Westbrook. That's tipped. Here's Baines. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. And he makes the first.
Shooting for Oklahoma City, Aaron Baines. 2 shots.
That one misses. The Thunder leading by 3. And Roberson kicks to Westbrook. Offensive struggles continue, missing again. Smart with the ball. Patterson's there. Rozier, the pass to Smart. Here's T. Banked in off the glass.
I tell you what, you don't want to allow too many of those kinds of baskets with the game on the line.
This is when the defenders really have to protect the basket. You need to be in sync as a unit defensively.
Now a timeout called by Oklahoma City.
They've already picked up a number of fouls here, and they're in the penalty. Not a good sign. They need to focus on moving their feet, keeping their hands up, and defending without fouling.
Boston making some changes. Al Horford is checked in for T. The kid comes in for Crowder. And Thomas subbed in for Rozier. And it's the Thunder with the ball. George dishes to Patterson. Good work defensively by Horford. And here's Boston. They're on a 17-6 run. Stolen by Westbrook. To the left side wing. Fires the 3. Rebound Boston.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Thomas goes in, picked by Horford to take the lead. Paul George with the steal. Gets the bucket and the foul. That one on Smart.
Yeah, beautiful play on the interior. They're just using the height advantage to lay the ball up and in when they really needed that basket. He is absolutely the guy you want at the line in that situation. It just shows you how much he loves these moments.
The shot, no good. And Oklahoma City will go with it the other way. And Roberson kicks to Patterson. And here's Westbrook from the arc. They grab their own miss. Adams lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, now it's a 6-point Thunder lead. Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They're losing by 6. 54 seconds left to play in the final quarter. And some changes here for the Celtics. Crowder, he's checked in for Aaron Baines. Brown comes in for the kid. And Gordon Hayward is subbed in for Isaiah Thomas. Crowder with it. Guarded now by Patrick Patterson. Crowder kicks to Horford. It's in! And now they trail by just 4.
And they'll be counting on even more points from him. That's essential if they're going to pull this game out.
Patterson, the screen. George against Brown. Crowder with the steal.
Gotta score quickly.
Yeah, no time to waste here, partner.
It's Brown with the drive. 7-second difference, shot and game clock. Horford connects. And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Al Horford clearly has the touch right now.
And they go to the intentional foul.
Yeah, you can't let them hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
No, you got to foul. I mean, it's going to come down to free throws here. Foul right away.
And and so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ball game.
Wow, I tell you what, those free throws will give them some much-needed breathing room. 2-possession game now.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're behind by 4. There's 21 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, your thoughts?
And you know what? It isn't over yet. A quick score and a foul.
And perhaps a few missed free throws, and they're right back in it. So it all has to happen fast, but it could happen.
The kid, he's checked in for Boston. And an intentional foul there stops the clock.
You have to foul, but I'm sure they would have liked to foul someone different.
Yeah, but Greg, they didn't really have another option. I mean, I thought they did a nice job getting it in his hands and making sure he was the guy who'd go to the line.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. They trail by 5. We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth. What do you think, guys?
And a quick bucket and a foul is really the only option at this point.
And the important thing about the foul is who you foul. They don't want to send a top-notch free thrower to the line if they can avoid it.
Here's Thomas. Good D by Westbrook.
Oh, tough D on the inside.
It sure was, Greg. No easy access to the basket when that fella's in the middle.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And, Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
Guys, Paul.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Hi again, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal, Paul George.
I don't know if there's a fan base that loves their star more than this kid.
And that brings us to the end of our broadcast for
It's the 2K Sports pre.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
We've got NBA basketball in store for you here in Houston, Texas, the home of the Rockets, live on 2K Sports. And here it comes, the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, and here with me tonight, Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. Taking a look at Boston. Guys, when you compare their performance last season to where they sit right now, not a whole lot different story. Not necessarily a big surprise either.
And you know, for the Celtics, they've had their chances to kind of separate themselves from the pack this season, but so far, they haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities.
Hey, they're amongst a big group fighting for the bottom few playoff seeds, and that's going to continue all the way through the end of the season. I think they'll get in, but it won't be easy.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court right now for the Celtics. Smart is out there with Hayward. Then it's T. Then there's Horford. And it's Brown in at the small forward.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
And the Rockets were a tough team last year, but at times it really felt like a one-man show. Harden carried them so much for so long. You just have to wonder if it wore him out.
Hayward passes to T. Shoots from 12. Hayward can't hit. Well, it was the Boston Celtics, their last game a loss to the Thunder in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, not a very inspired performance for them, particularly when they were defending. They just gave that hostile crowd plenty to cheer for.
Yeah, they allowed a lot of free runs to the hoop, a lot of open jump shots, and in the end, the opponent's shooting percentage was through the roof. You can't win if your defense isn't better than that.
Horford against Nene. Horford kicks to Smart. Picked by Horford. Now here's Smart. He's guarded closely, and he lays it straight in.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Paul with the ball. 23 points for him the last game against Dallas.
Yeah, and it seemed like he spent about half the game shooting free throws. Credit him for really taking it to the defense.
Kicks it out to Ariza. Drills the three-pointer. Ariza's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
And you could see that dunk coming from a while away. I mean, he lives for those moments.
And so do all of his fans. He doesn't disappoint. Clark, when he's got a clear path to the bucket, he's going to do something, you know, special.
And, Kevin, you're right. He definitely had a clear path on that one. Very little defense being played right there.
Oh, that was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Kia. And the Celtics with possession here. They trail by one. Corner shot. Hayward can't hit.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
Before getting dinged up, Brian Anderson was rolling. I mean, over the first few seasons of his career, improved in efficiency in all areas. Then he had the back injury, and last season his shooting percentages really went south. Boy, he made a nice little bounce pass there. We call that the pocket pass, and he did it well.
Here's Hayward. Soft touch off the glass. Hayward's got 6.
And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
And getting back to Ryan Anderson, in 2012, he won the NBA's Most Improved Player Award. Then, in the summer of that year, he landed an enormous contract in a sign and trade.
Yeah, and that's the good Ryan Anderson. If he can stay healthy, he's a tremendous asset. And he isn't just a shooter. He can get it done on the backboard as well.
Brown dishes to Horford. No good. Some solid defense there by Nene. Rockets leading by 4. Paul passes to Ariza. Fires from 18. Rebounded by the Celtics. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Houston this season.
Yeah, really a rare treat for the fans. The only time they'll get to see this matchup all season.
Conference action here. 2 games in all between these two teams. It'll be fun to watch.
Marcus Smart was drafted to the Celtics as their future point guard. He came in with a lot of work to do and a skill set that people really liked. But his first season, Clark, was a roller coaster.
Yeah, it really was. He was an off guard in high school and in his first year of college as well. Really only played full-time at the point the year before he was drafted.
Here's Clutch, defended by Gordon. 1:37 left to play in the first quarter. Passes it to the kid. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The Celtics need to get a shot off. Outside, Taylor. Takes it from 10. That's good on the jump shot. Taylor's got his first bucket of the night.
And for Smart, though, he still has a lot of work to do.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Everyone is in their seat and buckled in at the American Airlines Arena as the Heat look to grab a win here in Miami. For the Miami Heat, they come into tonight's game after the loss to the New York Knicks. And that does your confidence, guys, no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
And nothing went well offensively on this night for them. They were just completely disjointed.
Yeah, you could call it the 3 Ds: disjointed, disorganized, discombobulated, or whatever else you wanted to use to describe. That would be appropriate.
So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. We've got Jay Crowder, Hayward out there with Thomas. Then there's Horford, and it's Baines in at the 5. That's good. Johnson's got the first points on the scoreboard for Miami.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
And one of Goran Dragic's greatest traits, Greg, excelling in the open court. High energy point guard, a lot like you, speed to burn, very smart guy. Coveted by many.
He really is. And Kevin, he transitions from defense to offense as quickly as anyone in the league, a la Tony Parker, except he's also equally adept at facilitating for others and spotting up for the 3, or just taking it to the rack himself.
Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Eric.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
It's live coverage of the NBA on Monday night. Thank you for joining us here on 2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. We've got the Boston Celtics taking on Miami. Justice Winslow still injured. They're counting the days until he returns.
Kevin, yeah, he got injured a few games ago, and it's been tough without him.
And we've seen what a different team they are without him on the floor. I mean, it has not been nearly as cohesive a unit as when he's there.
So let's take a look at the Boston Celtics starting lineup. Hayward out there with Jay Crowder. Then there's Horford. Then it's Isaiah Thomas, and it's Smart in at the 2. Dragic the pass to the kid. Offline with his 3. And you know, Gordon Hayward was involved in one of the more fascinating NBA draft stories. It started after his father confirmed that Gordon would submit his name to the draft, but would not immediately hire an agent.
Yeah, reportedly, Dad created a highly detailed 2-page questionnaire that he gave prospective agents, which is not something that's typical.
And the basket by Thomas. Thomas got the opening basket of the game for the Celtics.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But, boy, that was a nice job.
And pushing it up, here's Boston. It's stolen by Dragic. And now just over a minute played here in the first. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Olynyk. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And on the topic of Hayward hiring an agent, it was reported that the questionnaire was just the beginning, and that prospective agents also went through quite a grilling. In addition to that, you talk about a thorough process.
Now, here's Thomas. 14 points from him the last game against the Magic in Orlando.
And they were just struggling to stop him. They sent him to the line over and over, and free throws were a big part of the game.
Now, here's Richardson. Marcus Smart missing that last shot. Miami no good on that time either.
You know, back to Hayward, obviously his first NBA contract was subject to the rookie wage scale, but his second contract, 4-year max deal. So whatever the Haywards have done as far as agent vetting, it's paid off.
Dragic against Thomas. For 3, Richardson, and he gets the bucket. Richardson's got his first 3 points of the game.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Thomas.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Dragic kicks to Richardson. Back to Dragic. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there, dead on target.
The feed to Crowder to end the run, and he slams it one-handed.
Nice pass. He got the ball right into his teammate's shooting pocket, on time and on target.
Dragic against Thomas. Dragic left side, off the screen. Here's Olynyk, and that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist. Dragic has got 3 assists tonight.
And turning down what would have been a tough shot for himself into an easy one for his teammate.
Now here's Hayward. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. That's good.
Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see them operating a lot of their offense from the interior today.
That's good. 8 points for Kelly Olynyk.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Hayward goes in, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Tell you what, he's not an easy guy to stop when he's got his sight on the rim.
Never has been, never will be. He is a determined finisher.
Did he just go chop there with that one-hand tomahawk slam?
Pass to Richardson. He feeds it to Olynyk. Wide open look. It's hauled in by Thomas.
Well, you knew things were going to be different in Miami without LeBron. They slowed down their approach on offense, going from one of the more up-tempo teams to one of the slower ones last season.
And for the Heat, Greg, you knew that they would be different. But, going from top to the second slowest pace, Clark, was a very drastic move.
Yeah, that is a significant change in style. Covered the second least ground in the league last season, according to player trackers. You guys can figure that out.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it was over 16 miles ran per game as a team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The shot's good from Ellington.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Now here's Thomas. He puts up decent numbers on a nightly basis, averaging about 10 points a game. Johnson, the pass to the kid. Ellington with it. Here's Olynyk. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Olynyk's got 10 points in the game.
This switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys. Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
Passes to the kid. Johnson the screen. Crowder with the steal. Smart dishes to Thomas. And stolen by Williams. Johnson outside. Now the pass to Olynyk. That's in, coming off an assist from Johnson. And that's 12 points for Kelly Olynyk.
And with that height advantage right there, he had a good, clear look at the basket.
Now here's Crowder. Not a lot of room. Dishes to Horford. And he slams it one-handed.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
And here's Johnson outside. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game. That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. All right, well, a look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for Miami.
You know what, guys? It looks to me like they're really in sync here, all on the same page. They've already got a bunch of assists.
Yeah, and one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
Johnson is out there with G. Then it's Johnson. Then there's Wayne Ellington. And it's Olynyk in at the 5 spot. So that's who Miami starts the second with. Shot clock at 6. The shot's good from Ellington.
Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that one.
Well, I think it's been said about 1,000 times now how Coach Spoelstra started as a video coordinator with the Heat, but he's been with the organization for so long, they are starting to become synonymous.
Just over 1 minute has passed here in the second quarter. Here's G. He's covered by Brown. Here's G. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
The second he got around the pick and shook his man, it was straight to the bucket for the easy deuce. Very, very well done.
Horford the pass to Rozier. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
And while we have a chance, how about the numbers for Olynyk? He's averaging about 7 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And with his ability to put the ball in the bucket, he has to be your primary focus defensively.
Defenses plan to stop him, but very few succeed. That's why he's the team's leading scorer.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. Richardson comes in for Wayne Ellington. And it's Dragic in for Tyler Johnson. Here's G. And it's Dragic off the drive. And Olynyk kicks to Johnson. Some solid defense from Brown.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
Here's Crowder, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. The players you see here contribute as much on D as they do at the other end of the court. A list of the steal leaders among point guards. Fifth, Goran Dragic.
And not only are these players tremendous at picking a ball handler's pocket, but as terrific point guards, they also know how to jump into passing lanes and get a steal or deflection that way as well.
For sure. I mean, they wreak havoc defensively in all kinds of ways. On the ball, off the ball, in transition. Boy, this group is the complete package at both ends of the floor.
Now, here's Richardson. He averages about 5 points a game. Olynyk dishes to Dragic. Johnson goes in from deep. No good from Dragic.
It would have been something to see if he could hit that shot from that deep.
Greg, you know it. I know it. There aren't very many guys that can hit from out there. He is one of them. That's the kind of range he has.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
And maybe cause some foul trouble along the way as well. And we know what that can do. It pays off typically in good fashion for you. He's a dead eye at the line, fellas. Just call him automatic. He doesn't miss many of those.
It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
Here's Rozier. Kicks to Crowder. A shot by Hayward, wide open. Nailed from three-point land. Hayward's got the lead up to 2 now for the Celtics. Dragic the pass to Richardson. He kicks it to Olynyk. Johnson sets the screen for Olynyk. He dishes it to Dragic. Johnson from outside. Horford with the rebound.
You know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt.
Now here's Hayward. 9 points in the game so far. Here's Rozier. He's guarded by Dragic. Shoots from 14. No good.
Well, listen, it was a forgettable series for Celtics fans. However, the Celtics' young core were able to experience postseason basketball. That's something that you can really never replicate. I'm sure they'll be hungry for more of it. And credit Brad Stevens on a terrific job.
That's just run-of-the-mill for him. A typical day at the office. He's one of the more skilled offensive players out there.
It's Brown. Boom! And nobody getting in the way.
Not at all. Major throwdown there. And you talk about momentum. That sort of action delivers a type of energy to your team that you just can't quantify.
You know what? I'm going to quantify it right now, Clark. And this is a close game, and that was something special.
And really,
good try.
In a game, you guys, in a game like this, though, when you have a chance to send a message, you do. And boy... on that play.
And that was Kia bringing you the close-up on the big-time play. Catching up on the changes with Miami. The kid, he's checked in for Olynyk, and it's Williams in for G. Marcus Smart's checked in for the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas comes in for Rozier.
Here it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post has to be option number 1 for them right now.
Now here's Smart. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Here's Thomas. And he uses the glass on the layup. And the Celtics lead by 2.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop.
Here's Dragic. 8 points his last outing. Richardson kicks to Dragic. Johnson right side. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
Kevin, not a single point in this quarter for him. Obviously, not what they need right now. He's got to score.
Thomas gets a wide open look. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Now it's a 5-point Celtic lead.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
Smart dishes to Horford, and he gets it to go. Horford's got 8 points.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
On up the court. And the jam by Smart.
And just a nice bucket there to really just sustain that lead.
Well, a few more possessions like that, and they'll do more than sustain the lead, Greg. I think they'll start to put this thing away by pulling away.
That'll do it for the first half. Celtics lead by 9. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, what do you think the team needs to do differently on the defensive end in the second half?
Well, a little bit more activity. And we just have to be committed to what we do. Our identity is to be aggressive, but more consistent.
Coach, thank you for the time. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you for the great interview, Doris. We'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We welcome you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. They did give up a couple baskets more than they wanted to, and at the end of the period, were trailing by 5 points. In the second quarter, they turned on the afterburners, making a big charge to jump ahead and build a 9-point lead for themselves at halftime. Taking a look at the Celtics, Shaq, what do you think?
Well, they've been playing with some toughness, and it's led to a nice lead for them, not just on the scoreboard, but in the rebounding numbers. And now they need to stay mean, Ernie. You cannot lose that edge in the second half.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Miami?
Can this team please get fired up on defense? I mean, get angry, get upset. Guys are way too soft and giving up way too many good looks. At some point, you got to draw the line in the sand. Be like, okay, who's crossing this line?
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway.
And now the third quarter about to get going.
He's been absolutely in control. No slowing down for Olynyk. He has 12 points, and he's pulling down some big rebounds, too.
And you know it's a priority. The battle on the boards. One every team tries to win, Clark, and he's put his effort in that category. Here today.
On the floor for Boston, we've got the kid. Smart is out there with Thomas. Then it's Aaron Baines, and it's T in at the 4. And the dunk by Olynyk.
Cutting into the lead with a huge one-hand throwdown.
That's how to get your team back into it.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, guys, that might also put a little spark into those guys.
And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. Terrific awareness among this collection of centers and power forwards. The big men averaging the most assists per contest over the previous 10 games. Number 5 is Kelly Olynyk.
And these are some of the most complete players in our league. I mean, they're not just traditional score and rebound big men. They can beat you with their passing as well.
And their teammates know to always keep moving on the perimeter because the ball will be coming back out to you if you work yourself free. You're looking at some of the masters of the kick-out pass right there.
Here's Brown. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot two. Well, you look back at the 2015 Heat, and the injuries are what probably brought that team down. We can go from Chris Bosh with the debilitating blood clot on his lung and on and on and on. The loss, of course, which was not an injury, of LeBron James. There are a lot of moving parts with that team.
And that's a great point, Kevin. If you take any star off of teams, things are going to get difficult. It was impressive that the Heat still managed to stay competitive once Bosh went out.
Morris outside. Back to Brown. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give them two chances at the free throw line here.
You know, Bosh was the big injury hit for the Heat, but they had a lot of other injuries as well. I mean, had to use 31 different starting lineups last season, and 20 different players started at least one game.
Catching up on the changes with Miami. G's checked in for Johnson. Ellington comes in for Richardson, and it's Johnson in for Goran Dragic. It's blocked. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Over in the corner, Brown. Shakes him. He lays it in. Brown's got his... second basket of the night.
And injuries are something that you can't plan for, but you can prepare for them. And hopefully the Heat can avoid injury woes this season. If they can, they at least have players who have been through that struggle last year.
Olynyk sets a screen for Johnson. The Heat need to get a shot off. Here's Ellington. That one wide left.
Well, that's a very low percentage shot. Not good basketball at all. One he probably should have passed on.
And he gets it to go. T's got the lead up to 9 now for the Celtics.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
And all about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks their coach drew up.
A steal. It's Brown with the drive, and he goes in for the dunk.
Boy, he's just dangling from the rim after sending it through there.
You can see which team now has the swagger Clark right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's with them.
And, guys, that swagger can backfire because you don't want to get your opponent a little too riled up.
Timeout called. The Heat, a tough loss coming against New York in their last game played.
Yeah, they just caught a team, Kevin, that was in a zone. They didn't have the manpower defensively to disrupt them.
Hey, zone or no zone, I expected a little more fight out of them than what they showed. I mean, they never strung together any stops like they needed to.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. Olynyk was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach has a lot of faith in him offensively and let his players know it, insisting that he be at the forefront of what they do at that end of the court from here on out. Well, they need to make something happen before the start of the fourth quarter, and maybe those changes will do the trick, Kevin.
Thanks again, Doris.
And Al Horford is just a winner, guys. I mean, win 2 NCAA titles at his time playing for Florida. His teammates call him the Godfather because of how calm and quiet he is in terms of his leadership and the mentoring he provides. It's been the same here in the NBA.
And the basket by Rozier. Rozier's got 5 points so far.
and they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
That one goes. Count. Johnson's got his first basket of the night.
It really does make the game easy for your teammates when you can lead them to the rim that well with a pass. And how about a little bit of showmanship there as he increases the lead?
Oh, I like that. That's got to be, though, a tough pill for the defense to swallow.
Well, he's a guy that you know can hurt you with his passing, and right there, he does some damage with his finishing, too.
Last game for the Celtics, they pick up the win against the Magic in Orlando.
And Kevin, you know, they showed how important it is to have a strong bench. I mean, when you are on the road, that depth is vital. I think they really utilized the second unit to extend their offensive assault and just really wore down their opponent.
And guys, I think what you saw from them throughout the game was teamwork. This is a team. Regardless of who was out there on the floor at any given time, they got it done. And that has to make you feel good as a group. That's something they need to do more of. Get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Ellington from outside. Good. Ellington's got 11 points.
Boy, I tell you what, he loves getting looks like that from the three-point line. No one near him. That's a warm-up jumper for him.
Rozier, the pass to Horford. Oh, yes, he did. 5 up and 5 down for him so far.
He's their go-to guy, and when he shoots the ball like he has today, that's what the scoreboard usually looks like.
Johnson, and it's good. Fought through contact, gets the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
So far, going for more of an inside game here in this second half, and I like that. A little smash-mouth basketball, taking it inside.
Here's what Miami's going with right now. James Johnson's checked in for Kelly Olynyk. Richardson comes in for Wayne Ellington. And it's Williams in for G. Then for the Celtics, Jay Crowder's checked in for Clutch, and Thomas subbed in for Rozier. Here's Richardson, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. That one on Smart.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
And he's good on the second. We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. Celtics leading by 4. We've got Williams. Richardson is out there with James Johnson. Then there's Dragic, and it's the kid in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the group on the 4 for Miami.
Yeah, Al Horford really has become one of those elite two-way big men. And that's very rare. You look at most bigs in the NBA, they excel at either one end or the other, but this is one of those guys that does it all.
And Horford at 6'10", a natural power forward who's been pressed into duty at the center spot, but he holds his own on the low block.
He also does a really good job, Kevin, moving his feet and covering in space, covering the pick and roll. He's outstanding in that regard, which is important in today's game. He's got mobility and a high IQ.
Teardrop shot. No good from Dragic.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
And we've played through about a minute here in the fourth. No luck.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
Outside Williams. Pass to the kid. Knocks it loose and stolen by Horford. Thomas kicks to Smart. From outside the arc, and the Celtics hit again from deep.
For 3,
And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for Boston.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ball game.
And also, how about the points they've gotten in transition or on the fast break tonight? That's been a huge factor as well.
And the Heat call time here.
Yeah, too many easy buckets coming from inside, and I think he wants to make that a point of emphasis.
I would certainly think so. I mean, if they keep giving up those kinds of easy looks inside, they'll be in big trouble.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Well, guys, I was able to listen in on what Eric Spoelstra was going over with his team in that last huddle. He let his players know that they've got to do a better job on defense. He said they're scoring any way they want. We've got to show some pride here. Let's make a stand defensively, get us stops, and get on a run of our own. Do they have it in them, Kevin?
Great. Thanks for the report, Doris. Thomas down low. He's guarded by Dragic. Passes it to T. Feeds it to Crowder. Pass to Thomas. And that one's good.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, and usually when a team goes on a run like this, it's because they are getting too many opportunities on the inside. Make them beat you from deep.
From downtown, and again, Boston with the triple.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
With the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in control of this game.
And no doubt about it, rebounding is an effort stat, folks. They've been more determined than their opponents thus far. And the thing with Kelly Olynyk, he does some stuff that really helps you, and some also that will hurt. I mean, he's highly skilled. He's got the deep range, textbook positioning in terms of the post. A lot of tricky moves down there. Yet he has a hard time being effective against great athletes, which the NBA is filled with. So he's going to have to evolve as a basketball player if he wants to be effective.
Going back to Kelly Olynyk, as a coach, you have to identify the matchups where he can be effective because, Clark, he's against explosive long-limb guys. They'll take advantage of him.
Yeah, they will, but in the right matchup, he's effective. He can help. He makes 35% of his threes, has done that for the last 2 years, and I think he gives you some toughness and rebounding as well. I like him as a second-unit player.
Outside, Dragic. To the inside, Crowder with the steal. An even 3-on-3 break. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
And that was something the Celtics needed, adding Thomas, a player that could come in and provide Clark instant offense for them off the bench.
And, Kevin, I think that was a turning point for them last year. I mean, they saw that they had a chance to make a big leap forward after the trade and responded accordingly.
And look, he's not the best athlete, but he's able to create the space he needs to operate.
Tries to save it. Brown kicks to Thomas. Johnson left side. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic. Dragic has got 5 assists in the game.
Superb assist there. Played the role of the maestro on that one.
Brown with it, and it's Johnson picking him up. And then Brown with the dunk.
He power surged that one down. Wow.
Yeah, good term to use. One of the game's top dunkers for sure.
Folks, that's not a petty, not a Manny. That's a facial.
Heads up play there, guys, on the assist and the finish.
Johnson dishes to Dragic. Johnson, the pass to Dragic. And he gets it to go.
Boy, he picked him out brilliantly with that feed inside.
Yeah, maybe a change of the game plan right now, looking at some different sets because of the matchups.
Yeah, I agree with you because they're looking to tweak things to maybe get those matchups working in their favor.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They lead by 11. 1:41 left in the fourth quarter. Al Horford is checked in for clutch.
Al Horford.
1:41 left in the fourth quarter. Dragic against Thomas. That one is good again. He's 6 for 8 from the floor with the basket.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense. And Isaiah Thomas, traded last season from Phoenix over to Boston, seemed to be a matter of fit and not production as to why they moved him.
Some changes for Boston. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Brown, and Marcus Smart is subbed in for Thomas. Dragic kicks to Johnson, and that's good. And it's Dragic with the assist. Dragic has got his 7th assist here tonight. Celtics leading by 11. Greg, you were talking about Isaiah Thomas. He had no love lost for the Suns in their first meeting. He took them apart, Clark, on the floor. Remember that game? Stared them down as he was hitting shot. Let's look at that bench, man. He had a big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and you know, most guys that are a little undersized and have battled doubters all their careers bring that kind of edge anyway. You throw in the fact that he was disappointed how the trade unfolded. He was amped up and ready for that return visit.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for the Celtics. Rozier comes in for T, and it's good. And it's 13 points for Gordon Hayward.
And so only one team answered the bell tonight, guys. Not a monster blowout by any means, but still a double-digit victory for the Celtics.
Clark, this was a physical game.
Yeah, but the awareness they had offensively to penetrate really was the difference.
And so that moves their record to 11 wins on the year.
And so this victory tonight will give them the front end of what I believe will be a knockdown, drag-out season series, folks. They win the first of what will be 3 this year against the Heat.
And so many key players that you could point to.
Is there another player out there capable of moves as stunning as that?
A handful at the most. He is an elite company.
You know, he's got that it factor, no doubt about it. He causes excitement just by walking in the building.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam.
Dragic.
Now here's Smart. He's guarded by Johnson. Smart passes to Rozier. Good, and Smart gets the assist.
Yes,
and the Celtics lead by 13.
Smart.
That one will seal the deal there. They've exploded here at the end.
Boy, I love the serious killer instinct they've shown, finishing strong.
And so it's Boston easily grabbing this one. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. And now time to go to Ernie Johnson, who's alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Isaiah Thomas. How'd you feel about his performance, Kenny?
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
This guy is explosive as any guard in the league. And he's got a craftiness to his game and a work ethic that just does not quit. Whether it's creating for teammates or putting up them buckets himself, Isaiah Thomas finds a way to get it done.
And folks, that'll wrap it up for tonight. We hope you enjoyed the game. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
So good to be with you again, everybody. The NBA season has now hit its stride. I'm Ernie Johnson, along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith on 2K Sports. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Boston Celtics going up against the San Antonio Spurs. Checking out the Spurs, they're excited about this one and will be laying it all on the line. The intensity, palpable. Two top-caliber teams facing off on the hardwood to do battle. And as we come up to the midway point of the season, Kenny, we're seeing some of the veterans who started slower now picking up the pace.
Well, I think early on, a lot of times, if you've been in the playoff for some veterans, the early going in the season is a little mundane. But then
We've got basketball action at the AT&T Center. We're in San Antonio, Texas, the home of the Spurs, live on 2K Sports. Sit back and enjoy this presentation of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. You take a look at the Celtics. Everyone on this team is pleased with the beginning of the season. They're playing so well right now, 5 consecutive wins.
And, you know, for Boston, it has taken no time for them to come together as a team. I mean, no time. There wasn't much being said about them preseason, but now everybody's got them in their radar.
Well, they couldn't have asked for a better start to their campaign. I mean, give credit to the coaching staff for customizing a game plan and system suited to the talent.
And now the opening lineup for Boston. Jay Crowder out there with Horford. Then there's Smart. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. And it's Hayward in at the small forward. Now here's Thomas. Pass to Hayward. 6 to shoot. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
It's his first trip to the line. Well, the Spurs, Greg, great at home last year. That's not surprising to anyone who's paid attention. We expect that. They're just so tough at home, year in and year out.
And, Kevin, how about going 33-8 at home last season? And despite being a 6th seed, only the Hawks and Warriors, the 2 best records in the league, won more games at home. Hard to imagine you could be a 6th seed with that kind of success. And, Kevin, who says a point guard should look to pass first? I mean, not when you can finish like this fella.
Well, Clark, he wasn't going to give that opportunity up to a teammate.
Well, you know, Kevin, that's one he'll always take himself, and he should. I mean, you can't pass up that kind of opportunity or fun. For the Spurs, it was all about being at home. That was a big part of how they went on a run. They won 20 of the last 22 games at home in that stretch, which vaulted them from the bottom of the playoff picture in the West to as high as the 2 seed.
And the Spurs at home are so great because they just don't miss. I mean, 2nd in field goal percentage at home, shooting 49%. Also 2nd in 3-point percentage made at home with over 39%. And at the line, it's all about consistency with him. His routine, his stroke, it never wavers.
And Gasol gets it to go.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Smart passes to Horford. Feeds it to Crowder. And it's sent back by Aldridge. Parker kicks to Green. The pass to Aldridge. 3-pointer. The shot, no good. And the Celtics going the other way now. This game coming on the heels of their win against the Kings.
Yeah, the confidence just exuding in that performance on the offensive end. I mean, really illustrates how this team clicks when guys are communicating and executing as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, roadkill is hard to get in this league. I mean, to be a great NBA team, you've got to be able to have that kind of performance on the road. Focused, purposeful, and productive. Really solid.
And guys, you see how Rudy Gay just exploded last season in the 2nd half. I mean, I think he felt at ease in George Karl's system. And I think that's one reason why you're starting to see just how good Rudy Gay can be.
It's Parker with the drive. And he gets it to go. Parker's got 5 points so far.
You can't afford to give him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Now, here's Thomas. He gives the team some steady offense, a bit under 10 points a game.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Here's Aldridge. Plays it up and banks it in. Aldridge has got his first 2 points.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
And the whistle blows as the basket counts, and a 3-point play chance right here. One free throw coming up.
I tell you what, the post play has been rock solid right off the bat.
It really has, and they've created a lot of high percentage shots in the paint here already.
Here's what San Antonio's going with right now. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. Kyle Anderson comes in for Rudy Gay. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Green, and it's White in for Tony Parker. The Spurs shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Those are good numbers for any team. I mean, they can feel extremely good about their free throw shooting percentage this season.
I tell you what, guys, it's going to be a tough day on this defense if he's got the A game rolling tonight.
Anderson outside. He kicks to White. Anderson outside. Back to White. Fires from deep. That's good. White's got 5 points so far.
They really can't allow him too many open looks like that. I mean, that's just inviting trouble.
Here's Smart. Now the dish to Horford. Hayward on the wing. The Celtics working the ball around now. Shot by Crowder, no good.
Boy, just by his body language, Kevin, you can tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Yeah, it seemed like he had great rhythm on that. You can see the disappointment in his face. And off to an incredible start here early from long range.
Lighting it up from outside. Hard to keep up with this.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling.
Got a piece of it. Ginobili with the steal. Crowder with the steal. Near the three-point line, it's Thomas. That's short off the rim. Spurs leading by 6. Here's the teardrop. Here's Laverne. And he converts the layup.
Guys, he's actually indefatigable. He never gives in, never gives up on a play, and that's what it takes to be a great offensive rebounder. You've got to be relentless.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. Their last encounter was in Boston.
Yeah, and looking back at their last game against this club, they were badly out-rebounded.
Yeah, and that turned the tide, the rebounding differential. They've got to focus and make it a team effort to really pound the glass.
Mills, he's checked in for San Antonio.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And I say, hey, if it keeps working, go to it. Stay with it. I mean, until the defense responds and provides more resistance, keep making them pay.
And he starts out with a miss in this one.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
Here's Rozier. Here's Baines. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now. That one misses. And we have the chance to catch up with Greg Popovich. He talked about Pop breaking it down and telling it like it is as usual, Clark. You got to love having a guy like that as your coach.
Without question. I mean, you have no idea how huge that is for a player to get that kind of support and backing from his coach. Is Tony Parker a great all-star and champion? In my book, absolutely, without question. But would he have reached that level without Greg Popovich as his coach? I think even Tony would tell you, probably not.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Spurs.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
Also, guys, the passing has been terrific in the first half. They'll be happy. Football those assists.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the floor for San Antonio, Pau Gasol is out there with Laverne. Then it's Mills. Then it's Green. And it's Gay in at the 3 spot. Clutch, he's checked in for the Celtics.
Pau Gasol was the number 3 pick back in 2001. He managed to average 18 and 9 his first season, was Rookie of the Year, became a perennial All-Star. There's no way his younger brother Mark, who was a second-round pick, could ever match up to that, right? Not so fast, people. Mark's pretty good, too.
Here's Mills following the bucket by the Celtics. The shot no good. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Brown dishes to Hayward. And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. The Celtics have gone 6 of 9 at the line.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And they've increased their percentage quite a bit since last season, guys.
And so he hits the technical free throw. LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for the Spurs. Parker comes in for Patty Mills. Hayward against Gay. Green with the block. Parker passes to Gay. Hayward against Gasol. Nobody near Gay. But they'll get another chance. And there's the foul. It's on Clutch. Full 24-second shot clock. Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far. It's Parker, top of the key. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Parker's got 7.
Not an easy finish right there, but a beautiful move to give himself just enough space to get in close and knock it down.
And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. And a new group in for the Celtics. Al Horford, he's checked in for Aaron Baines. T comes in for Clutch. Crowder, he's checked in for Gordon Hayward. And Marcus Smart is subbed in for Rozier. Now here's Green. He's got 5. Aldridge wide open, he fires. Second shot opportunity, and he hits the jump shot. Aldridge has got his 3rd basket of the night.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play. At the other end.
And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be ahead of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
The kid, he's checked in for the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas comes in for Smart.
And just a little bit ragged defensively there, Clark.
Celtics trail by 12. Right side, Thomas. Green with the block.
You got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboard.
They've done a lot of things well today, but really it's about what they've done on the backboard that's at the top of that list.
And that one's good.
And with the Celtics being a surprise threat near the end of last season, even their losses were close games.
Thomas inside, guarded by Green. Here's Crowder. Passes it to the kid. Will it go? Nice ball movement by Boston. Gasol with the steal. It's Gay on the wing. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. And the Spurs scoring again.
To back up your point about the Celtics being in close games, I mean, their point